right, hello guys, this is BTA Agro Farms and welcome back to another video. So this is going to be the project update to what has been going on the farm. And as you can see, this is me on the farm here, where I came for inspection to see what was going on the farm. So let's jump right into the video. So majority of the video that you guys will be seeing will be from the CCTV camera that we installed. One of the first things that we had to do was to install a CCTV camera. So that way we can monitor what is going on and see the progress. I think we have like about, as at this point, we had like about 5 CCTV cameras, and then we place them in some position that we can easily monitor what's going on. As you can see here, the CCTV camera is showing where they were digging the foundation level for the pen house here. And then you can see they were already putting some blocks aside for the foundation. So foundation, the whole 4 corner piece, they were going to do all the whole foundation there. I mean, dig out the foundation level and then start laying off blocks. You can see from this part, they already have majority of blocks around the whole 4 corner piece here. So this way it's going to be easier for the bricklayers to just, after the mixing of concrete, to just start laying the blocks all around the whole 4 corner piece here. So while they were building the construction of the pen house, you can see from over there, the first camera here. This camera has like, is this 2 camera type where one can rotate and then the other one is stagnant. So while they were doing the pen house down over there, this construction that is going on here is for the staff housing. And then of course we needed to have like storage for egg, for feed, like some office, and then if we have staff, we needed to be able to accommodate them so that they can stay on the farm and then monitor exactly what is going on. So while we're doing construction for the pen house, we're also doing for the staff housing. So we needed to do that simultaneously so that they can all work together. All right, so back to the pen house here. As you can see, they've really progressed with the molding of block. They've done like almost 60% here, like more than halfway of molding of block. So you can see starting to form shape gradually from this part here. So from this stage, you can see more to it. They've done like the molding of block. And then if you notice, there's like this gap in between. So that's where the poles will go, the poles that is going to hold the roofing. So it's clearly showing all the whole 4 corner piece here because that was the first thing they needed to do. And then if you notice, the land is very slopey. It's like going downward. So it has the advantage and it has disadvantage to a slopey land. If you're doing poultry project on a slopey land, of course, you have to do some filling. And then for the manure pit where the droppings will go, you just have to go on with the flow of the land. Okay, so back to the staff housing construction here. As you can see, they've started molding of block after the foundation, then starting to form shape gradually. And then from this view, you can see the rest of the land. And then you can also see the pen house down there, right there, right? You can also see the pen house, and then you can see the rest of the land. And then you can see the staff housing is really starting to form shape from this part. The bricklayers and the builders, they're really doing a good job from this part here, starting to form shape. So most of these things, we just monitor them from the camera, see what is going on. And then the good thing with the camera is that you can communicate and talk with them. You can ask them questions. You can, if something is going odd or wrong, you can always talk to them. So back to the pen house here. So if you see, they've done the, at this point, they were still doing the poles. You can see those are the workers there. They are trying to fix the poles, mixing the concrete to level up the pole, and then insert it to those holes in between the blocks there. So that's what they were doing at this part here. And then fast forward to where I was actually checking from the other camera to see, because the camera is on a higher ground. So I tried to see if I can picture it to know if the poles were leveled, which you see from this view, like, it's leveled. And then this other view too, it's also leveled. And then I tried to check from like other camera angles too to see if it's actually level. Like, if I can see it to be almost leveled from like the camera views, you see from this part, they already started putting the concrete in between the poles. So we can see from this, all these camera angles to see that they were leveled. So that means the pole installation was actually a good job. So moving forward, guys, back to the staff housing, you can see quite a lot of progress of work has gone into the staff housing. Initially, we had we had plans for 2 staff room, 1 egg room, 1 store room, and then 1 office. But later on, we had a change of plans to add like 2 more additional rooms. So this one is going to save us a lot of time and stress later on if we're going to be adding more staffs and then we don't have accommodation for them. So that was the plan for this one. But you can see the progress of this part has gone quite well. So this part of this staff housing, like if you're doing staff housing, it depends on how you want your staff housing to be. Some people do, story buildings. Some people do single rooms. I've seen some farms online where they don't even have staff housing, just security housing, and then the staffing will come from like outside, and then they live in the evening. So this staff housing part really, I think it depends and based on individuals on how they really want to go about that part. So from this stage, you can see that the roofing has started yet, and then they were going to cover it up from this part here. So this is another camera view. I don't think I've showed this camera view. So this was another camera view to see the staff housing from a different angle, and then you can see that it's covered up. It's almost, maybe 60% completed. And then the back area was where we're going to have the tank. We'll do some layers of block there to have our tank in this area here. Okay, so back to the penthouse and the progress that has gone into the penthouse. So after the installation of the poles, you see they started the inner work, which is the laying of blocks for where the battery cage will be going. And yes, of course, we're going with battery cage, not the deep liter. So I requested for a proper video. And then you see, this is not from the camera view. This is a video from the manager to show us exactly what has been going on with the penthouse construction. So you see, this middle part is where the droppings will go, and then the 2 layer of block is where the cage, of course, will be sitting. So you see quite a lot of work to do in this penthouse here. So with the other thing I mentioned, that the land was quite slopey, like, going downwards. It's got its own advantage and it also has its own disadvantage. So from this part, you see that this other left hand side here, this left side, we had to do filling up. And then this middle part, we had to just go with the flow of how the land was slopey. So which was going to make a lot of sense because to remove the droppings, you need that place to be a little bit slopey, so that's going to be easier. But you can see from this other part here, we still need to do some filling here. So advantage and disadvantage of a land that is quite slopey. So you see, this is what has been going on with the penthouse. I'm just going to fast forward all these whole parts here. All right, moving on, and this is the last thing that has been going on the farm, which is the digging of pits. You can see that's the penthouse, and then this camera is right behind the penthouse, so we can see from this angle too and see what is going on at the back area. So you can see these guys are digging out the pit, and this is where, of course, the droppings from the chickens will go. So this is our progress on the farm so far. I think we've done quite a lot of work, and see you guys in the next video.